Foreign trade and introduction. Let us understand the concept of foreign trade in detail. Foreign trade. There is a huge disparity in geographic as well as climatic conditions in the world. Every country cannot produce everything due to this reason. Every country may not possess each and every human skill as well. The quality of production or service may get compromised because of inappropriate conditions in the country. Moreover, manufacturers may have to bear extra costs for production. Therefore, countries trade with each other to exchange the commodities or services that they cannot produce or which may not be viable for production. This trade is called as foreign trade. Most of the countries in the world are engaged in foreign trade, which is also termed as external trade. Countries also enter into foreign trade if they have surplus production of a commodity. They sell a part of their domestic production to foreign individuals and firms. Now we will take a quick look on the basic concepts of foreign trade. Imports and exports. Goods and services bought from foreign countries are called imports, whereas goods and services sold to foreign countries are called exports. For example, goods sold from India to the US are exports for India and imports for the US. Comparative cost advantage. If foreign trade could take place without any restrictions by governments, each country will specialize in production and export of those goods which it can produce in a lower or reasonable cost than other countries. This is the comparative cost advantage of the country. Goods which cannot be produced at home at a reasonable cost will be imported from foreign countries if those countries do not put any restrictions on trade. Free trade. Foreign trade without any restrictions, either on imports or exports, is called free trade. If every country enjoys benefits of cheap imports, the world as a whole consumes larger global output than the absence of foreign trade. These benefits are called as gains from trade, and these gains are shared by all trading nations in free trade. Trade barriers. Many countries are afraid of competition from other countries due to various reasons. Some countries feel that the domestic industry will suffer due to cheap imports from foreign countries. In order to discourage the imports, countries impose various trade restrictions. These restrictions are also known as trade barriers. Countries resort to two types of trade barriers. They are, first, tariff barriers, and second, non-tariff barriers. Tariff barriers. Tariff barriers are various taxes or duties imposed on imports such as import duty, excise duty, and custom charges. These duties generally charge more than the difference between domestic cost of production and foreign cost of production. Non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers are physical restrictions on imports. It does not contain any duties or taxes. For example, import quotas, total ban on imports, and selective exchange control. These barriers restrict imports in a quantitative manner. Whether a country shall resort to a free trade policy or a restrictive trade policy shall depend on surplus or deficit position of the trade and ideology of the country concerned. To summarize, foreign trade allows countries to get cheaper alternatives for production as well as final products. Countries can enjoy benefits by specializing in specific product or service and by adopting free trade policy between several countries. Nations impose various import barriers to control the quantum of foreign trade.